People lately have been asking me to miss the chair and record it. I don't know if they mean it purposely or accidentally, but they really want to see me plop on my butt. The day is coming. I don't know when, but it'll happen, and then I'll upload it, and then people can laugh at me. Like they don't laugh at me already, right? This has been like one of the most stressful days I could remember. I spent about 2.5 hours in the basement. A couple plumbers came over, and one guy was, snaking the sewer line, Jesus. I spent $320, and I got absolutely nothing for my money. It turns out that my cast steel, I think this house was built like 64 or something like that. The cast steel sewer line has been infiltrated with roots, and now, since the roots had kind of broken through a section of pipe, then, the roots, part of the pipe, a foot or two is missing, then the dirt could collapse, in. I got a concrete slab out there. I can't afford to pay, and there's other options. There's pipe linings, and there's another one where they actually pull a flexible tube through. It has a nose, like a nose, like a rocket tip nose on it, and pulls through, and it breaks the pipe as it goes along. Whatever the case, it's just too expensive. Like when I run the washing machine now, since the pipe is broken there because of the roots, it's finding the path of least resistance because the washing machine actually dumps a lot of water. And it's the liquids coming through the cinder block. It's unending. I would never build houses this way with the plumbing all over the place. I mean, I can cut and glue PVC all day long, but, my main sewer line is like 9 feet underground, and it's in the basement, and, I don't have a trench digger, and even if I did, I'm only one person, and I have to do all the mundane stuff. It's like, am I complaining? Yeah, I have to stay focused to be helpful on, I do have 4 jobs. I was up to 4 a.m. last night. And what I really find weird about my life, if you think I'm whining, that's okay. I guess I am slightly. What I find really weird about my life, and I know I'm not starving in some sort of desert somewhere, wearing rags. I lead a simple life. This junky house, that's where I got this house so damn cheap. It was just a disaster when I bought it. Is that every day, like, I beg for a day to just like take a day off, and then something horrible happens. I mean, I didn't come down with cancer like my wife did. My wife came down with cancer, slowly, screaming every night from pain. It took 10 years for her to slowly pass away in pain every day, screaming in pain every day. So, I haven't contracted cancer yet. But I just like beg for the day that I can just take a day or two off. For actually for decades now, and I know like this electronic gadget sitting on, and the stupid iPad, I've tried to keep my life simple, really simple. Everything, all these greedy, horrible people that sell junk to Americans, just made out of cheap plastic garbage that is designed to self-destruct, like the Romans. They built a sewage system, and, thousands of, all this time later, it still works. There are places, certain cities in Italy, where they're still using the ancient Roman sewer lines. Still using it. We just have this fast and greedy society of nonsense. I only buy, I have a can opener, and it broke. It's a piece of plastic junk. I didn't buy it. I forgot how I got it. And I had to go on eBay. My mother threw away my old can. She's like, that's an old can opener. It's like, yeah, but the newer ones are just cheap Chinese junk. I mean, it broke. And I had to go on eBay and rebuy the antique, old, tough as nails can openers that never break. Of course, people don't really use can openers anymore, but most people don't. But this planned obsolescence stuff, which is just the greedy, capitalistic, and I'm not against capitalism. Trust me, I know communism. I've seen a communism up close and personal, girlfriend. Boy, have I really seen communism up close and personal. Big time seen it. Just extreme greed. It's like we need to have this stuff break down every few years. Otherwise, if it keeps lasting, Well, we're not going to get another sale. How dare someone buy something and we make it so good that it's going to last? For many, many years, even though I have a lot of electronic junk, and even the very best electronic junk I have is still just junk. Try to keep my life simple and steer my life away. And that's the reason why I have a Toyota. Of course, every car fails, but I will never ever have. I've never owned a new car, but I'll never have any of this. It shocks me to see people driving, this Ford and Chevy and Dodge garbage out there. It's like, I know you like it, but it's junk. I mean, maybe they like the way that it looks, but why don't you own something like a Toyota RAV4 or a Toyota Camry or a Corolla or, like the top 10 most reliable vehicle? I mean, why would you own that junk? I mean, unless you're rich, you have all the money in the world, but the people driving that stuff, they're not rich. They're quite poor, and I'm quite poor. But I failed, and of course all vehicles need maintenance and they all break down, but I mean, I failed to own any of that junk. Nothing is guaranteed in life other than death, taxes, and suffering. There's a lot of stuff that makes me ill in this world. Like the only two major things that I bought in the past year are like these super, super expensive sewing machines. And man, they are just built like tanks. They really are. They're industrial. They're super industrial. There's like a rubber belt on them, which will probably break or go bad. I need to replace the rubber belt, which I can fix myself, $30. But, they're insanely heavy steel. They're designed and built to last. And I use them to make money. It's one of my jobs that I have. And I know how to operate them. I just want to make my life as simple as possible. The plumbing, I've been fighting the plumbing in this house now for 20 years. It burns me up. Because I'm just so busy. I can't have all this peripheral I don't know how other people deal with it. I guess because they live in a house with other people. I'm just by myself. I have to do everything by myself. If you think I'm whining, that's okay. It's just, I try to plan out my future, which of course, life is what happens when you make plans, but I can't stand, of course this house was built like in the 60s. Obviously those cast iron sewer pipes are a problem, but things need to be made simpler so that anybody could fix them. And I can fix a lot of stuff, but I don't have a trencher. I'm not going to dig down 9 feet and jackhammer my back porch to replace. I'm just not going to do it. There has to be other options like pipe lining, or there's another thing that pulls a flexible pipe through. This is the reason I love my cabin. There's no plumbing. There's also no electricity there. A lot of people, when I tell them that, it's like, ew, no electricity? Yeah, there's no electrical issues, and there's no plumbing issues. The only thing you have to worry about is, some of the carpenter ants chewing on your cabin. I have spray for that, but I love the fact that there's no plumbing in my cabin. I love it. Just go out in the back. You go out on the back porch or the front porch and let her rip, by the way. Yeah, there's a little outhouse. I just want to live as simple a life as possible. I guess with all the YouTube stuff that I do, and the fact that feel like I'm buried behind the computer half a day every day, working 7 days a week. My life is not simple enough. And no matter how simple my life is, I'm always thinking about 100 things at once. Really, really deep stuff. Oh, trust me. You can believe me or not believe me, but I'm always in really, really, really deep thought. And I can't do that when I'm fighting all the nonsense and rubbish, like staring at those two goofy plumbers, charged me $320, and they didn't even accomplish anything ultimately. It's like, what a waste. I was so insanely busy. I'm so in belief of self-reliance. By the way, I cut these out a couple days ago. This is one leg. Yeah, I can make my own clothing. To me, this is important. They'll end up looking nice, but this is one leg of a pair of leather pants. This is the outside. Yeah, one leg, I know. Be awfully expensive when they're done, even at my discounted price. But I can make my own clothing. You know, are you really? Of course, it's getting really cold. You know, man, when it's really cold, leather pants are just the bomb. They're absolutely great. Um, I make my own belts. I'm not wearing my belt now. I have an alligator belt. I have a couple of them that I've made for myself. I want to be as self-reliant as possible. I'm just sick to death. Maybe it's because I'm 49, but I've been sick of it for decades. Even though I have this electronic junk around me, and it is junk. All of it's junk. I do use it. They are tools. I don't hate it. You know, I know how easy it makes to do things and videos, and I do know all that, but I'm so sick of the junk. The older you get, if you're, you know, unless you're just totally unintelligent and you have a little bit of wisdom, you appreciate stuff that you don't really, and everything breaks down, of course. You appreciate the stuff that you don't have to fight in life. You know, life is meant to do things and understand things and accomplish things. Like these sewing machines, other than replacing the needles on them and the belts, these are going to last me the rest of my life. They really are. I mean, they're designed that way. In the grand scheme of thing, even though this one's like $2,500 and this one's nearly 4,000 bucks, totally worth it. They've already paid for themselves. They'll just keep chugging along essentially forever. My cabin, you know, anything could happen to my cabin, but I have insurance on it. You know, I have a lot of stuff taken care of to take care of the cabin. I was just down there a few days ago. I just want my life to be simple because I'm writing articles. Nobody that wrote good books and great books and many books, we're so busy. We've busied ourselves to death, human beings. That's why human beings are so neurotic. And it disturbs the hell out of me. It doesn't literally disturb me. It does, actually. That I have to fight with nonsense. And of course, much of life is nonsense. But I don't want to fight with plumbing, and I don't want to fight with planned obsolescence garbage. And I don't want to buy planned obsolescence garbage. You know, even all Apple devices are planned obsolescence garbage, but they're tools that I need. It's like I deal with it because I need them, but I don't want to cleave to them, and I don't identify with them, even though I use them and they're great in their own way. I just don't want that close to me in my life. I want the stuff that I can roll out. My land, you know, what the hell's going to happen to the land, you know? Sewing machines, you know, my car, of course, any vehicle will need, but, you know, it's a RAV4. You know, as long as I take care of it, it'll keep chugging along way better than other vehicles. I just want to streamline my life to keep all the crap, the plastic crap and the garbage out. Like I said, I can make my own friggin' clothing. I'm proud of my clothing. It's like I made it. You know how much a really good pair of leather pants costs? I can make a pair of leather pants. It's quite complicated, actually, about 5 hours, and they last and last and last. Very soft, very nice, as to make a great pair of leather pants. Not many people say they can make their own friggin' clothing. But I'm just one person, and I have to take care of everything. And I meant, like today, I can say it stressed me out. It's just extremely irritating that I have to, and it's just life. Someone's going, that's just life! Which it is. I can't stand the fact that I have to spend so many hours dealing with rubbish and nonsense. My plumbing is still a problem in this house. I had to, spend a bunch of money and watch those two idiot plumbers do their nonsense today. I'm trying to make my life simpler, as simple as possible. The only thing that's simpler is just like wear these leather pants and, grab a bow and arrow and live out in the woods and in a teepee. Be a nomad. I don't think I'm there yet, but my God, if I could go there, it's like, what's stopping you? Well, it's a good question. Sometimes I wonder about that. I thought about like having a van or a camper or something, like having one of my leather sewing machines and a camper or something, just traveling America, working, seeing America. What the hell is the purpose of living if you're working 7 days a week? Why do I have to work so much? And I know I'm not digging ditches and hammering, railroad ties in or something, but why the hell do I have to work 7 days a week just to keep my nose slightly above the water? It's just ridiculous. That's not a life worth living. It's just not. I like to write. I like to think. I like to be helpful and creative. I like building things and making things. I have these I have to make. Well, two of these I do anyway. These alligator wallets. I have to make these. I cut this out and sew it and pound on it with my own two hands. So this I can rely on. This I know. This electronic garbage, this planned obsolescence trash, they're tools that I use it, but I really don't want that in my life. It's around my life, but I don't want it in my life. It makes me sick that I have to deal with the mundane stuff every day. Maybe if I were married, of course my wife is dead, maybe if I were married and, I had other people, I guess that's half the reason why people get married and have kids. That way, you can just work hard and come home and, you can delegate all the garbage. Like, take out the garbage, do the laundry. You have a family that supports each other and does stuff for each other. When you're one person like me, I'm working myself to death. I don't get a chance to ever do this number. And that, to me, is the ultimate wrong. And there's only one person to blame for that. There's actually many. The government's to blame for that. High taxes are to blame for that. These greedy bleepity bleeps that make planned obsolescence trash are to blame for that. But, the biggest person to blame, of course, I know is the person in the mirror, in the bathroom. The fat tattooed bald guy that looks like Uncle Fester. That's the big guy to blame. But these other people carry blame too. I can't be pissing my life away, working so damn hard just to give it to the freaking IRS, and it's just ridiculous. There's state taxes and government taxes. It's too much. A life is not meant, no life from any perspective is meant to you just bust your ass just to keep your nose above the water so you could give it to the stinking government that pisses it away on God knows what sort of stupid insanity. It's just not right. Maybe one of these days I'm going to give this house the middle finger, and then I'm going to move. I'm going to put a little cabin out. Well, I already have a cabin. I don't know. Life needs to be simpler. Human beings are not meant to bust their butts 7 days a week. They're just not. I might not upload this video. Because if I upload it, people are going to go, I hate this video! You're a complainer! You're just whining! That would be true. But also, too, what I said in this video is also true. So both can be true at the same time. You ever seen those commercials where they show somebody's been smoking really hard for 40 years and they just look like hell, and then they want to scare the kids whatever you do, don't smoke. Those commercials, they really scare people, oh my god. This should be one of those long commercials where God, I don't want to do what that guy's doing. I don't want to do it. Oh man. Yeah. Yeah, I did put the mic down. Yeah, I know. That's okay. I'll edit this ending out of the video. Note to self, edit this out of the video. Okay. I won't forget. I promise. Oh, crap. Oh, crap. Ah, shit.